guys, welcome
to Turrican.
2016 celebrates the 25th birthday of the title that made me proud of my Amiga. So, Turrican II The Final Fight was the perfect all-arcade experience that I was after, with stunning graphics and an overwhelming soundtrack. Let's take a look! I recall the first time I got a glimpse at Turrican II. It was on this daily TV show, Point by Point, hosted by the awesome Raul Durão, who had this vision of having in his show a 5-minute per week interaction with Paul Dimas, where they discuss the latest video games available for the ZX Spectrum and the Amiga.
E pronto, se este é o Turrican II, é porque já tivemos um Turrican. Boa tarde, Paulo Dimas.
I embraced the Amiga platform around 1990, by a time when many of my favorite video games ever were released, like for instance, the very first Turrican. As for Turrican II, I guess that it was the music that convinced me. Chris Ulzbeck came up with my favorite video game soundtrack ever. The Desert Rocks from level 1 of Turrican II has been on my personal playlist for decades. It was the first music I captured directly from a video game to WAV format and later converted to MP3, and the only one that was used as a ringtone on my first polyphonic enabled cell phone. Game design of Turrican II was pulled off once again by Manfred Trans with precious help from Andreas Escher, though the original concept was on the Commodore 64. But where this game really shines is on the Amiga, probably because of the already mentioned astonishing soundtrack. Inspired by Metroid, Aliens, Psychonix Oscar and R-Type, the story is set in the year 3025, and we play the role of Bran Maguire, the only survivor of the Avalon 1 ship that was attacked by the forces of this evil emperor known as the Machine. So it's completely obvious what our goal is: slaughter the main villain. Just like in the first title of the franchise, Turrican II is a mix of arcade run-and-gun platforming action combined with exploration of 5 huge worlds in which, if we search carefully, we'll find precious hidden items, power-ups and even extra lives. Exploring thoroughly, though, will certainly take us directly to other bosses that could have been completely avoided. But with this overwhelming and inspiring music playing in the background, I could be just wandering around for eternity. Manfred Trans was known by Commodore 64 fans as the Master. He could pull off some amazing programming tricks and make the 8-bit machine from Commodore to do things that other developers never knew it was possible. For this version, he also wanted to incorporate music during gameplay, but that was simply an impossible mission to accomplish with success, cause the hardware was almost beyond its limitations. In the ending screen, Trans even stated that this was his last game for Commodore's 8-bit platform. He wanted to be able to do more, and the good old C64 just couldn't help him to accomplish that objective. Despite that statement, he still managed to design one final game for it: Enforcer Full Metal Mega Blaster. Despite the C64 version being the original design for Turrican II, the conversion for the Amiga was the first being marketed by Rainbow Arts, and the biggest impact came from the music composed by Chris Ulzbeck. The designers were perfectly aware that the soundtrack was really good, that in this version incorporated a kind of jukebox in the main menu that can be accessed by pressing the spacebar. We can now enjoy all tracks from Turrican II. I can't simply recall how many times I loaded the game just to listen to the music while studying or doing my homework. Needless to say that all over the press, Turrican II The Final Fight was considered a work of art, not only on the Amiga and C64 but also on the Atari ST, Amstrad CPC and the ZX Spectrum. Later, a CD-TV port was also available that is exactly the same as the Amiga version and, because of that, failed to grab commercial success. In consequence, today's prices for that CD-TV version are completely astronomical. A year later, in 1992, the Game Boy and the Mega Drive Genesis also got a sort of Turrican II conversion. The license to publish Turrican II on consoles was acquired by Accolade, who had also grabbed the rights to develop a video game based in the movie Universal Soldier, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. So, what they did was to transform Turrican II into something related to that movie. What a sacrilege! Accolade completely ruined Turrican II! As James Rolfe would say,
what were they thinking?
To somewhat be related to the movie, some levels were replaced by a few new others, and the bosses were also redesigned, and even a huge Dolph Lundgren was included. So sad. A planned Super Nintendo port was cancelled due to the high production costs of larger capacity SNES cartridges, but it would eventually end up on the web for players to try using an emulator. In 1995 there was also a DOS enhanced port that I really enjoyed to revive, cause by then I was only giving attention to my good old IBM 486. An amazing conversion that stayed in the hard drive for many years. Recently, in 2009, a chiptune cover version of the intro music from Turrican II was used in Ghostbusters, the video game. Don't know if it was credited or not, but it was really awesome to discover it. "25 years have passed so quickly and Turrican II still remains extremely playable. It was, for me, one of the most important turning points in my gaming life. So guys, hope you've enjoyed this episode of the PixelThing, where we celebrate the 25th anniversary of Turrican II The Final Fight. Tell me on the comment section below your own experiences with the Turrican franchise. Which one did you play the most? I'm curious to know. Meanwhile, check my latest videos about video game prices over the years and also about Thalian software and the demo scene. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you all next week. Turrican. Cracked by Rainbow Arts. Awesome publisher. Welcome to Turrican. Hey, I've seen this before. I know you, man. Here he is, on a cover of Manowar from the album Kings of Metal.